Hey Arnold is entirely different from any other Nicktoon, or really any show ever put out by Nickelodeon. It has a darker and more mature vibe than other shows on the network, and the plot lines are taken a little more seriously. It even comes up as a drama when you Google Hey Arnold, and Google is never wrong, obviously. So normally with this show, you can expect it to hit a little harder than your average cartoon, and their Christmas episode is no exception. Arnold's Christmas aired back in 1996 as part of season 1 of Hey Arnold, and people still talk about it to this day, even though it's been a depressing 28 years since it first premiered. I gotta say, I didn't watch too much Hey Arnold as a kid, but I've definitely had this one on my radar as a must-watch Christmas special, mostly because it's known for being so iconic and so touching, and I did get a few requests for it. Let me tell you guys, the hype is real on this one. I went into this episode as someone who has barely seen much of the show, and by the end, I found myself wanting to go back and rewatch the whole series. That's how good it is. But what makes Arnold's Christmas so iconic that it still gets people talking over a quarter century later? Let's take a closer look. I also want to give a quick shout out to Kendall OK, who is the first channel member of all time, which is an amazing thing. The episode starts off by establishing some fun winter vibes for us, with everyone having snowball fights and ice skating in the city streets. And someone even built a snowman. Nice. And then we see our main characters, who are all focused on different things as the holiday approaches. Helga says that Christmas is all about stuff, specifically a fugly pair of boots she wants that are selling out all around town. Gerald and Arnold discuss buying gifts, and Gerald explains he keeps it simple by buying everyone a tie for Christmas, and he means everyone, even his baby sister. Arnold says that's not a good gift for a 4-year-old girl, and then Arnold explains that every gift you give someone should be unique and should mean something. Gerald is convinced and tells Arnold he has to go back to the store to return the gift he got for him, and I'm just gonna take a wild guess that he got Arnold a tie. We cut back to Helga, who has one other thing on her mind besides all of the Christmas presents and the fugly boots, and that's what she's going to get Arnold as a present. She is stressing out over this because she thinks that giving him the perfect gift will make Arnold like her the same way she likes him. Oh sister, you don't have to buy a man's love. Meanwhile, at the boarding house, Grandpa Phil gathers everyone to draw names for a secret Santa, but they have to redraw since everyone got Oscar the first time around. Nice try, Oscar. I respect the hustle. Arnold gets Mr. Wynn, but he doesn't know what to get him. Gerald suggests a tie. Did he learn nothing? And Arnold really wants to get him something good because he always seems sad this time of year. Arnold decides the best move is to talk to him and get to know him a little bit better so that he's able to choose a good gift. Mr. Wynn opens up to Arnold and says this time of year makes him upset because he thinks about his daughter. He explains that back when he was a young man in his home country, he had a baby girl, Mai, who he loved very much, and his dream was to see her grow up happy. But with the war up north growing closer to his village in southern Vietnam, he knew it was not going to be a safe place for Mai to grow up. One day, he sees an opportunity to escape with his daughter on a US Army helicopter taking refugees, but the soldiers tell him there isn't enough room for both of them and that they can only take one more passenger, and he makes the difficult decision to hand over his baby daughter so she can live a better, safer life in the United States. Mr. Wynn tells Arnold the soldier called out the name of the city they were traveling to, and that was it. Just like that, his daughter was gone. And heartbreakingly, it would be another 20 years before he was finally able to leave Vietnam himself and come to the United States to try and reunite with his daughter. As soon as he got to the United States, he went straight to the city hoping to find his daughter, but has never seen her. This part is genuinely heartbreaking. It grips you and takes you on an emotional ride with this character as he has to weigh this impossible decision of giving away his daughter for her to have a better life. It's a tale of love and sacrifice, and my heart is just aching for him right now, honestly. But putting aside the the heartbreaking nature of this story, it's also really cool to see Mr. Wynn open up to Arnold this way and share his struggles and vulnerabilities. It really adds a lot of depth to his character, which you don't usually expect from classic Nicktoons. Even though it's a cartoon, you really believe in the sadness this man is carrying. And it's a good thing Arnold didn't take Gerald's advice and just give him a tie for Christmas, because he might have, you know.
Oh my God! Oh, Jesus!
Arnold tries to comfort him and tells him he did the right thing by sending his baby away. And Arnold decides he wants to launch an official missing persons investigation to help find Mr. Wynn's daughter. So they go to the Federal Office of Information. Classic. Nobody wants to help Arnold because they're all having their Christmas party and they're out of work mode, which I get it. I wouldn't want to help the fucking kid either. He finds Mr. Bailey and asks him to help find the missing person in the city. But when he describes the situation, Mr. Bailey tells him that that could take hours/days. This man's been looking for years, and you're upset about spending a few hours on it? Come on now, dude. Just as they're about to give up and leave, Mr. Bailey gets a phone call from his wife. He says, "No, honey, I haven't done the Christmas shopping yet. I've had too much work. Yes, I know it's Christmas Eve. I'll get it done somehow." Overhearing the little pickle he's in, Arnold volunteers to do Mr. Bailey's Christmas shopping for him if he agrees to investigate Mai as a missing person. He agrees, and that's it. Let's get into action. The boys set off on a shopping spree while Helga continues searching for the perfect gift for Arnold. She decides the most expensive video game she could find, which is $100. And damn, this came out in 1996. That's crazy for what money was worth at the time. Yeesh, video games nowadays still only worth like $70. She runs into Gerald and Arnold and asks them what they think of the game. And Gerald tells her that it's a flashy, expensive gift that isn't personal and doesn't show you know the person. It's funny that he's roasting her for this, and he's the one who buys everyone a tie no matter what. This guy's a bozo. The last item on Arnold and Gerald's list is the same pair of fugly boots that Helga was drooling over, and the store says they've been sold out of these boots for months. So apparently the whole town must be walking around in these abominations. I'm gagging. Helga overhears them ask for the boots and wonders if the boy she's been in love with has been gay the whole time. Arnold and Gerald go to countless different stores searching for the boots, but every single place is sold out, and they are literally laughed out of the store for even thinking it might be in stock. God damn. They go back to Mr. Bailey and say they've bought everything except the boots, and he says, "No boots, no deal," which is totally unfair because they did so much free labor. They still did 95% of the shopping. He wouldn't have even been able to find the boots himself because they're fully sold out, so he would have failed as well. It's not fair. They leave in defeat, and Arnold feels terrible that he failed and Mr. Wynn won't get to reunite with his long-lost daughter. But when they walk off, it's revealed that Helga overheard them, and she now realizes why Arnold was searching for these boots. She walks home feeling sad that she'll never be able to give Arnold what he truly wants for Christmas, which is to help Mr. Wynn. When she gets home, her mom notices her glum look and tells her to open a present early and see what she got. She opens it up and oh, it's the ugly fugly boots. She puts them on and in excitement runs out into the snow, but her excitement fades when she's hit with the moral dilemma between keeping the boots for herself or giving them up and making Arnold and Mr. Wynn happy on Christmas. After pondering this for a few seconds, we see her, of course, running up to the Federal Office of Information to give Mr. Bailey the boots. First of all, she wasn't with Arnold and Gerald before. He shouldn't know who she is. Second, how does she know those boots are the right size for his daughter? What are the odds? And also, Helga stomped around in the snow in those boots, making them unusable as a gift. She fucking curb stomped in them. Mr. Bailey says it's too late and he's leaving and tells Helga to keep the boots. She pleads with him to stay and he repeatedly turns her down, saying it's Christmas Eve and he just wants to go home. She says, if you leave now, that football-headed kid won't ever believe in miracles again. And that line gets him. He stops in his goddamn tracks and one Christmas miracle is coming right up. On Christmas morning, everyone is exchanging gifts, but Arnold has nothing for Mr. Wynn. And come on, Arnold, you weren't on that whole shopping spree for Mr. Bailey. You couldn't have gotten him like one thing for your Secret Santa, like as a backup gift. This was a long shot gift trying to find his long lost daughter. You should have known it might not have worked out. Also, who drew Arnold's name in the Secret Santa? Did anyone give him a gift? I don't know if that's ever brought up. Mr. Wynn is all sad by the fireplace, and Arnold is sad watching him, and I'm feeling pretty down in the dumps myself now when all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. It turns out to be none other than Mai, the long lost daughter of Mr. Wynn, who he hasn't seen in over 20 years. He embraces her and introduces her to everyone, and it's a really beautiful and sweet moment. I'm pretty sure there's an onion or two being chopped next door, if you know what I'm saying. And the last thing we see right after this heartfelt moment is an equally beautiful shot of Helga secretly watching from outside, who says to herself quietly, "Merry Christmas, Arnold." Okay, fine. It's not onions. I'm goddamn crying. Woof. And as the credits start to roll, what did I think of the episode? Well, I have a lot to say because this was a pretty moving story, and it worked in so many ways. The episode lets two characters really shine, and those two are Mr. Wynn and Helga. You see a completely different and more vulnerable side to Mr. Wynn, and his whole backstory is a really good reminder that people have all kinds of interesting and tragic lives we know nothing about. It's also really cool to hear a kids show talk about things like fleeing a country due to war. For some reason, I definitely don't feel like that would premiere on Nickelodeon nowadays. And I know Hey Arnold is from the 90s and that it has a more serious tone in general for a cartoon, but nonetheless, it's really cool to see. 10 out of 10, you gotta appreciate it. And now for Helga. She spends most of the episode thirsting after a pair of boots and dreaming of all the presents she'll get. And when she's not doing that, she's scheming on what she could buy that will impress Arnold. But after she decides to give up the boots for a greater purpose and beg Mr. Bailey to help, you see a whole different side of her. And it's a really cool transformation to see. Helga's actions in the end are not only very unselfish, but she's actually doing what is considered the highest form of a good and noble deed by doing it anonymously and taking no credit for it at all. After she spent the entire episode thinking about how she could impress Arnold with a big flashy gift, here she has done something that probably would genuinely impress him, and she doesn't want the glory for it. She did it to make him happy and not for herself to get the credit, and I think that is a wonderful arc, honestly. It's amazing. I'm tearing up just talking about it, guys. I gotta say though, even though Helga isn't taking any of the credit, at least she knows she was successful and had that satisfaction deep down. Poor Arnold, on the other hand, he's sitting there all bummed on Christmas thinking he failed. And sure, he gets to see Mr. Wynn reunite with his daughter, and that's awesome to see, but he's not sure how it happened. He thinks it's just like some random miracle and not as a result of his actions. And man, that's kind of frustrating after all the effort he went to. But Arnold is at his core an extremely humble person, and he is happy to do something simply because it's the right thing to do. So, in a way, it's kind of fitting that he doesn't even realize he was successful in his mission. It's on brand. Overall, I completely loved this special, and I think it's an absolute must-watch. Or, if you've seen it as a kid, a must-rewatch as an adult. It had genuine heartfelt moments and emotional moments too, with some humor tied in as well. Get it? Because Gerald bought a bunch of ties for everyone. Tied in. But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think? Is this one of the childhood favorites, or am I giving it too much credit? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. If you stuck around this long, why not subscribe and throw the video a like? It actually really helps. Just do it. Just goddamn do it, man. I also just gotta give a huge shout out to Kendall OK as our first channel member. Goddamn, thanks. I can't say enough good things about you. All right, thanks for listening.